Be sure to check out all the cool, new, and exciting stuff on the Ash Variety channel at ashvarietychannel.com. And be on the lookout for the upcoming mobile app.
All Hallows Eve, the evening your nightmares come to life, all the creatures of the night come out to play. It's time to pay tribute to this terrifying month, so join us as we celebrate the sinister season. This is the Venom Month of Horrors.
We all enjoy a good scare, and this sure is the month for it, so welcome back to the Venom Month of Horrors. 31 days of pure terror in video form, and today this is a very special edition of UMILFs covering 10 horror or thriller films I consider underrated, unnecessarily hated, or merely forgotten. Candyman. In a tale as old as time, hold the reference, it's kind of based on a real myth of going in front of the mirror and reciting the titular character 3 times. This film focuses on him, played by Tony Todd, showing up when his name is spoken thrice and killing his victims with a hook on his hand. Quite similar to the Freddy Krueger franchise, but this film tends to be rarely mentioned anymore. Todd gives a truly eerie performance as the killer, one of the best in my mind, with a deep, bellowing voice that strikes fear in you, and he doesn't just kill his victims, but he truly torments them with no remorse. Often the film will fake you out when you believe he's not going to appear, so it always keeps you guessing, and I think it really is a great and forgotten gem in the horror genre, and the perfect telling of this ancient tale. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors. Now on to Freddy, and although this film is quite well loved, it's not in the 1001 when it should be, and it's sometimes shoved to one side in favour of the original, while I believe it's far superior. Nancy returns and helps a bunch of kids who are having nightmares of Freddy in a psychiatric ward before he starts the killing spree. These kids are really likeable, and there's a truly charming sequence where they all experiment with superpowers inside their dreams, which isn't really explored much in the other sequels, which I'll never understand. It's also scary as hell, with Freddy torturing a mute kid, ripping another one's veins out of his limbs and walking him like a puppet to his death, and it also has Freddy's best one-liners. It also never explains the ending to the first film, it's never acknowledged, but other than that, it's one of the greatest sequels in history, and in my mind, the best of the franchise. Doc 33. An Italian found footage film kind of spinning off from the Blair Witch Project, with some kids getting lost filming a documentary in the Alps in Austria before, well, you know the drill by now. Although not as good as its inspiration, it does have really scary moments and quite subtle filmmaking techniques, using brief moments in the background that you won't even realise for a few seconds, and when you do, you'll jump out of your seat in fright. It's a lesser known story, but it has its own mythology behind it, so if you want to give a foreign independent found footage film with a lot of heart behind it a try, this is the film for you. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I will never stop defending this movie for as long as I live. 10 years after Halloween 2's events, Michael is now in a coma but soon awakens and is now after Laurie Strode's daughter Jamie, played by Danielle Harris, with her foster sister Rachel, played by Ellie Cornell, trying to defend her. Harris gives easily one of the greatest child performances I have ever seen, and you truly have so much sympathy for the girl and want her to make it out okay. There are stupid moments like how Michael is wandering around freely and everyone questions how it's possible, but yet Dr. Loomis has been doing it since the start of the film without question. Is he secretly Superman? But once you get past that, the third act is terrifying as he starts to close in on the girls, especially Jamie. How can you not beg for a little girl to make it out alive? A scary, well made, except for the beginning, perfectly acted horror film. Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Yes, I had to. A year later, and Jamie is now mute due to the trauma of murdering her foster mother at the end of the 4th film because Michael possessed her. Or something. It's dumb and makes no sense. Rachel dies quite quickly, and her best friend Tina steps in to protect Jamie, and it's right back to Michael killing anyone in his way to get to his niece. This film also focuses a lot of attention on Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers' relationship, which I like. They connect as he tries to reach Michael once again to end the madness and rage. Michael lashes out at him, but he doesn't kill him because he is the only one who's ever been there for him. Everybody went nuts because he cried, but I like that as the two stories together culminated to him becoming more human. The end is is a bit silly where he gets arrested, but the rest is terrific. Danielle Harris tops her previous performance in a mind-blowing one that should have gotten an Oscar nomination in my mind. A damn good sequel, and unfairly slated. The Last Exorcism. More found footage. The film follows Patrick Fabian's character, who performs fake exorcisms to people and cons them out of money. He begins to document it to prove that it's all a hoax and that the paranormal doesn't actually exist. Of course, this all goes awry when this fails and he realizes that it's real and a little girl is actually possessed by a real demon and everything goes to hell, quite literally. I think it's a very clever way to utilize the found footage style in a believable way and to portray the paranormal. The effects for such a low budget are tremendous, all of the acting is realistic, but the only problem really is the ending. The film was great, but the ending, they just decided to go all Hollywood for some reason and it's not explained at all. It's just weird and random and a dumb end to an otherwise brilliant film. 1408. Although quite well received, this often gets forgotten when discussing great Stephen King films. John Cusack plays a skeptic who writes books about the paranormal and spends the night at haunted locations but is never convinced by any of them, a complete non-believer. However, he soon gets contacted by Samuel L. Jackson, a hotel manager, about a haunted room, 1408. He spends the night there unconvinced until all hell breaks loose and he now has to fight to survive the night. I do think the film gets a bit over the top at times, especially with effects, but Cusack's acting in this is extraordinary and probably his best performance. There's scenes where he sees his deceased daughter and it's absolutely heart-wrenching stuff. What originated as a short story culminated in a truly tremendous and unappreciated movie. Carrie 2002. A lot of people only know about the remake in 2013, but yes, there was a TV remake in 2002 and my god, it is great. It's pretty much the same story as the other two, but this version focuses more on Carrie's mother's religious side, which is a downfall as it seems to portray religion as the problem. I'm not a religious guy, but it does come across as uncomfortable to do that in a film like this. Either way, the acting and everything else is great and it's told in flashback mode as her best friend and others have interviews with the police. This upset a lot of people considering it was changed from the book and even altered the ending. Actually, she kills her mother the exact same way she did in the book, whereas the other films didn't, but let's just ignore that. However, I like the changes. The 2013 version was literally just the 1976 version completely redone scene for scene. These changes set this one apart from the other versions, and it didn't ruin the story in the process. I like all three films, and this one is my second favourite, and it definitely deserves more recognition. 1 hour photo. Robin Williams plays a psychotic freak who works in a photo lab, getting to know a family who've been going there for years. He's basically watched their kids grow up, but he soon becomes obsessed with them. We later find out it's because of personal issues, and you actually start to feel for him, but this performance by Williams is incredible, making this my favourite film from the guy. He really stepped outside of his comfort zone for this, and it is a truly chilling and really well told thriller.
Ernest Scared Stupid. You know what? I'll make no apologies for this. The Ernest films are a mixed bag, but they're a whole lot of fun and are perfectly self-aware in their cheesiness and stupidity and often maintain a lot of charm. I grew up with them and still find myself enjoying them as an adult to this day. Scared Stupid fits the bill, but also has some truly scary ass scenes. The movies are blatantly catered more towards kids, and as a child, the film scared the ever-loving hell out of me. Honestly, who would have thought that an Ernest film would have a troll with makeup this good? This actually has some really scary stuff in it and really emotional scenes too that tug on your heartstrings, and I have no shame in putting this on this list.
And that's my list. Did I miss any out? Let me know about it in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.